Greetings, programs. Today's Brando review, oh, it's gonna be a good one, is of the 2016 Star Wars Elite Series Kylo Ren premium action figure from the Disney Store. I am absolutely elated right now. This is brand new for 2016. This is from the Disney Store. These are pretty much discount Hot Toys. Remember back in the day, you used to have 12-inch action figures from Hasbro. They ended up canceling the line. They had, Count Dooku, Jango Fett, etc., etc. A bunch of 12-inch dolls, essentially, but you can call them action figures. This guy, I saw him in the Disney Store. I could not help but buy him. But this is the packaging. On the top left, you get your Disney Store logo. On the top right, you have ages 3 and up, and of course, a very big window to see your figure inside. You have Kylo Ren here. You can see he has soft goods, all these accessories. It just looks fantastic. You have a sticker on the left saying it has over 30 points of articulation, and inside you can see there you have extra hands, all that good stuff. You have Star Wars Elite Series, and the packaging is, oh my god, it's really amazing. You have like this metal, like this sheet metal, fake of course, but then you got your Star Wars logo grayed out, and then you have a very shiny red, like the First Order red, metallic, and it's smooth feeling of the Elite Series that wraps around the whole entire box, comes all the way back over and around and down, and bam, right there. Beautiful, beautiful packaging. Kylo Ren warnings, your premium action figure on the left-hand side. I'll go a little bit out so you can see what it looks like. Logo's down here at the bottom, the window, text, and then from the film, Star Wars The Force Awakens. I'll show you the other side before I get to the back. Pretty much the same exact thing, mirror image, except no text there at the top. So I'll go farther back to show you what the back looks like, and then I'll get close to show you everything. So on the top, you have your logos, your Elite Series with the same metallic stuff. You have your text about Kylo Ren. It's really cool how the Disney Store is proud to announce the new Elite Series. Oh my god, this guy, I'll show you in the bottom here, is $35, people. But there you have your text about Kylo Ren just really quickly, and of course it's multilingual with a bunch of promo images. Very small, but shows the detail. And then here in the middle section, there's really not much. And then of course, there is the price tag, $34.95. This is an amazing, absolutely amazing deal for the price that we get them at. Let's unbox this guy. Here is the bottom, nothing. So here we go. And I think these don't have any tape. There's no tape on here, so I can just do this. This. There we go. And then here he is, the packaging. Sometimes the lightsaber he has is a little bit warped at the handle, or the hilt I should say. Luckily mine isn't too bad. And then you have here, looks like he's a little, let's get close. There we go, I can take his saber out. He just has a little black rubber band. I've never seen this black plastic before. Usually they're just clear. So that's really cool. Oh my god. Oh my god. Ooh. Ooh. Dude. That is wire. That's wire up top there. Okay, let's calm down. Disney Store, if you didn't see my friend Victoria from Victoria's Cantina, Disney Store really doesn't do that great of a job of making it easy for you to unpack their items. So it looks like you gotta do a bunch of scissors underneath here to get rid of the cloth. Okay, it's still attached here. Ooh, very careful. Go slow, people, little pieces. These are soft goods. So like 10 or whatever minutes later, this is all the packaging, and I still have to unbox the hands and the extra hilt. But man, Disney Store, and I have to put his belt back on. I guess that'd be helpful. But Disney Store, my gosh, just put some pieces of tape over the damn box. Don't put all these extra little things to keep it all secure in the packaging. Please just put some tape, and then maybe like a piece of plastic over like Hot Toys does. That would be actually pretty beneficial, a great idea. So I want to talk about his hands. He has just an extra set of hands. They are fists. One hand for each arm. You have a left and a right. And if you look actually over here, you're only going to get pretty much 4 hands. You're going to get a hand where he uses his little pose where he stops Poe Dameron's blaster shot. And then over here, you're going to have an open hand for the lightsaber. So you can recreate the shot from the trailer with the hand here and then the saber. It's just backwards. It's mirrored imaged. So that's the only hands you get. This is pretty much it. You can't put the saber in this hand. And also, I guess you really can't, you can kind of have him hold the saber like this. But there's no other grip hand, which would pretty much be beneficial to a lightsaber battle. Like so. It still works. It just looks a little bit off. I guess the engineers thought it'd be a good idea to somehow do a 2-for-1 here. But in this case, minimalism does not work out. I wish they had another hand, because you can just see, let's see if I can do like this grip and this grip. See there, it just looks kind of weird. So unfortunately, that is pretty much, I'd say, the biggest flaw of this dude is no extra hands. But you might be able to use hot toy hands. I don't know, honestly. This is a very small peg. I'll get close for you. It's a very small wrist peg. So I doubt it. So the hilt is actually almost 2 inches exactly from the back end to the front. And then with the blade ignited, it's about 8.5-ish. Mine is a little bit warped. They're all gonna be warped, I think, being in that plastic. You have it kind of a long blade in a smaller area. It's 3/8, 8 3/8 inches long. And this is just a little bit warped, like I said. But I'll show off the detailing of the hilt. It's actually not too bad. You can see there, they have pretty much everything accurate to the film. You even have the red little line there, and then you have your gray cutout. It looks really cool. The paint here might be a little bit blotchy, but red's easy to fix, I suppose. But you can see the sculpting of the actual red of the ignition of the saber. It looks okay. It does look a little bit Jolly Rancher-ish, but it is a fiery look to it, and it's okay, and it looks like it fades out here at the end. So it's okay. I mean, I actually like, it has a little bit of heft to it. It's not made of metal, but it's kind of heavy. I kind of like it. I don't think there's any differences in the sculpt for both of them. It's pretty much the same exact sculpt and paint for both hilts. And there is no little notch to put on the hilt on his belt. So that's unfortunate, but that's okay. I mean, it's 35 bucks, people. What do you want? But you do see, though, you can hold it unignited, and it looks really cool, like he's ready to go to battle. So it's a great extra to have. All right, here we are. Actually, let's get a measurement of him to see how tall he is. I'm going to stand his feet together all the way. Then I'll go in a more wide stance. But with the hood on, feet together all the way, it's like 11 3/4 inches tall. And then I guess we can see if we can push the hood down to see how tall he is without the hood. And he's about 11.5. And then let's push his legs out a little wider. With the helmet on, it might be 11 3/8. And then with the hood on, it's about maybe 11.5. Oh, where to start? Like I previously stated, I was actually pretty surprised by my reaction. This is a wire in here. That can be good and bad. It's good that it keeps the shape of the triangle hood that he has, but it's bad because I don't think he has a wire in his actual costume. It's kind of just a very thick fabric. It would probably look better without the wire. I will leave it up to the customizers if you would like to remove the wire. I don't know, it looks better out of the packaging, but still, it looks like it could use some help. And I don't know if it's the shaping of the hood or what, but it just looks a little bit off. And here's the back stitching. You can see here, you got like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 little seams. That might be the issue for the shape of the hood. But it's just something off about it. Also, I think it's just the body, maybe, or the cape. But it looks like he has like huge pecs. Like he looks like big, or his proportions, I should say. He's got a very big waist. I think that might be actually the issue. His waist might be too big. But if you put in a new body, I don't know if you can probably put in a dragon body or even a Hot Toys body. You can see here I just took off a string. There are quite a bit of strings, but that can be easily remedied by, bam, some scissors. So no big deal, especially for $35. So I think if you might bought like a black body and threw this guy on, which I don't have one to do, but I will take off his clothes, wink, and show you what body he has underneath here. But this guy, besides I think the hood being the issue, or I should say not so much the hood, but his proportions of his waist, this guy looks pretty awesome. So I will remove the hood and see how much head articulation he has, and also show off his mask, which looks really great. It should be on a 360, but I'm not gonna really test it out too much. Looks like his mask gets caught in the soft goods there at the bottom, so really don't recommend you do that. It looks like he has some up and down. So that's good. And I'll show off here how really good this mask looks sculpt-wise. Some of them had paint issues here at the visor. That could be easily fixed with some black marker. But I picked one out that had good paint on it at the store. And man, does this sculpt look great. This is pretty much one of the best looking head sculpts, or helmet sculpts I should say, of Kylo Ren that we've gotten. And the Rey one, that one looks actually probably the best looking Rey head sculpt as well from the Disney store. Not just from the Disney store, but from all aspects of products from that character. So this is a really good looking head sculpt, helmet sculpt. And of course, this like texturing, this patterning, this material here is dead on, in my opinion, from the movie. This looks just like the costume from the film. They did a great job of replicating that, which is almost the same exact texture as the body. That looks phenomenal. That's what really drove me to buy him. Not just that, but I saw him in store and I was like, dude, I gotta have it for 35 bucks. Great job replicating the pretty much exact same texture as his real life costume. Great job. And then underneath this skirt, we get the other skirt. We get a little string here. Might have to remove it, and that was easy. And then you get more of a felt right underneath that. Absolutely great design. Great design work. The only real flaw besides the waist, you really get to see the articulation, which makes it look a little bit cheap. So you're going to see the double jointed elbows and the wrists. On the Hot Toys version, I think this is all cloth. So I think for an extra $5, man, I really would have loved it if they had this thinner. And then you can just cover this with that. They would have had a hit. For 40 bucks, all cloth, that would have been epic. So let's talk about his articulation. Looks a bit off, like I said, because of the actual body being incorporated into the design of the sleeves. But you have a hinged shoulder, goes up, down, and then it rotates on a 360. You really don't need to worry too much about rotating the shoulder itself on a 360 because he has bicep swivel. So that's really cool. Double jointed elbows, you can see there, the joint. So you can go back very far and pretty much nearly a 180 on the back side. And then he has hinged wrists, and it is a 360 as well on both sides because of the, well, this guy, let's see. Well, as I was saying that, we have run into our first little issue. I guess it's just the cheap wrist pegs. But this wrist peg actually ended up coming separate from the one piece stuck inside of the arm. So that's an easy fix by just putting it back together. But I wish that wasn't so, flimsy. But it's back, and then I'm putting that back on. So there we go. You can see how that look. This one looks a little bit better. Nah, there's still a gap there. Yeah, you can see the gaps. It's okay. I think there is a little bit of up and down movement here at the chest. A little bit of swivel, and then you can go down, and then he can go up. And I think here I'll show off the pants. They're like a very thin, almost like a velvet type deal. Really would worry about this seam busting off, so I'm not gonna go too Jean-Claude Van Damme. But bam, he can do that. There is pretty much a lot of rotation here for a thigh swivel. That's good stuff. It looks like he has double jointed knees, so that's really good. And then forward, he can sit down very easily and very nicely. One thing though about this body, this might be a little bit too loose for the legs, so that might be a problem. But we go down here to the boots. Boots are very nicely detailed. They look fairly accurate to me. They look pretty good. And then he has rotation here. It's on a ball socket, so you can go into 360. As well as he has hinged for his toes in case you need it. I don't really think it's that big of a deal unless you're like kneeling down. It's helpful. That is the articulation. Now let's take off the costuming and show what kind of body he has. So just really quickly, it can all start with this belt, which is removable very easily by this little peg here. So you can pretty much push it in. You probably can, that would probably be better if you lifted it up then pushed it in. But it's secure there. It looks a little bit weird, but I mean, it's obstructed, so it doesn't really matter. But you take off that, and then the belt comes off, and then you can lift up this cape, and then right here you have your Velcro, and then you just remove that Velcro, and then pretty much remove that area, and then below that you have your other Velcro right there. So we'll remove it and show you what everything looks like. So it's fairly easy to take off the hood and the garments that he has when he wears outdoors. There is, however, a little like tag attached to the center of the chest. I won't remove that. I think I'll keep it for reasons of, I guess the engineers wanted it to be in the center there. I can just take off this and still show you the body though. But you can see here, I think actually in the movie he doesn't look like this though. He still has this on, but it's like a different looking garment. But you can see there, it looks, you know, pretty cool. But I'll take off the rest of this and show you. All right, so my recipe for success for getting him off, you get off the outer layer with the hood on, you take it up front, and then you take the under layer down below the body. So you're gonna have a couple things. You're gonna have your neck and head, your belt, your hands, which pretty much you have to take off the hands. But there are the hands. You get to take off the boots. They're fairly easy to take off. They're ball jointed. And then I have here the rubber on the outside of the boots themselves. And then the pants. So here are the pants. Almost like a parachute pant, a track pant, very thin and stuff. And then I'll remove all these little fuzzies that keep coming off, make it more of a cleaner workspace. Even though workspaces are never clean, to show you the body. So this is the body that we get. And I will say this, I wanted to yank out the shoulder caps here, but thank God I realized that I can pull down the body rather than pulling it up, because the felt here was not allowing me to pull it up. I was like, can I pull it down? Thank God, because I was worried about possibly breaking these shoulder caps. But this is the body. You can see here, the waist is pretty big, and the chest is pretty much the same size. And look at these quads, man. Those are some big quads. And then, of course, the calves. But I'll give a measurement of this body and see if you want to swab it out for like a leaner muscular body and then somehow put up your own fabric for the arms. So let's get a measurement of the body. From the tips of the ball joints in the legs to the top, it's nearly 10 inches. Actually, it's a little bit below 10 inches. It's about 9 3/4-ish. It's about 9 3/4. Maybe like a 1/16 above that. And then without the leg ball sockets, it's about 9 inches completely. And you can just see here all the articulation. And here's the back. The back, here, let me get higher. The back's actually really interesting. Maybe Hot Toys or 1/6 scale figures do have, but they got like screw holes and then screws, I guess, to push in both pieces and come together. Yeah, probably right here at that seam. But the shoulders are kind of like the almost the Metacom-like shoulders. So I'm kind of worried over time those might break. The Metacom back way back when, like in 08, I don't know, back when they really sucked. But I don't know, the body it moves around, it's a little bit loose. It's not like too loose, like I can't do that and it'll move, which is unacceptable. But this body's fairly interesting. I think that is everything, and I'm going to put him back together. Oh, I guess I forgot to say really quickly, yeah, these boots are rubber. That's really cool, at least this portion. This foot is a little bit rubber feeling too, but I'm gonna put him back together again and then give him a final score. During the process of putting him back together, some of the Velcro from here caught on itself and kind of frayed away a little bit of the material. That makes me really mad, but I'm gonna just take some scissors and snip it off and see if I can remedy the situation. So you really can't tell where it was before, so I guess it worked out really well then. Just use some nice good scissors, don't use crappy ones. Also, I don't think I talked about this, there's a wire in this cape at the bottom here, so you see I bent it into a shape like that. Now I will flatten it and it's flat. So left and right has the wire, but the back does not. So this is really interesting. I also took some time to clean up. Well, I didn't clean up this area. I might as well. We'll see what it looks like. But I pretty much took some time to get rid of all like the extra little wires and little fuzzies and stuff coming off. I know it's probably supposed to be part of the design, but man, I sure did not like that aesthetic. For the most part, I cleaned it up. I can probably clean it up more, but that works overall. But he looks way better without all the fuzzies. Also really quick, like previously stated, with not cutting off that center, the center kind of like holds that little extra hood, bam, right there in the middle. pretty much just take off this hood and have it switched over like I showed you. Just have it laying here with this attachment here in the center, and just put on the head with this portion of the clothing, and then just put the head on, and then take the hood and then put it over and underneath the head. So what am I going to give the Kylo Ren, I was gonna say Black Series, the Kylo Ren Elite Series Premium action figure out of 10? I am going to give him a 9 out of 10. I can't give him the pure 10. I feel like some of these like issues, like maybe a little bit of a cheap plastic for these wrist pegs like stated. And it looks like his saber, when I was like trying to have him hold the hand there, it moved a little bit on its own, but overall it's okay. And once I cleaned up the rest of the, I'll show you just a bunch of the little, you know, squigglies here with some scissors. Get some nice scissors, don't have crappy ones. The cape, man, does that look really clean. That looks really good. Honestly, the only real flaw it has, I thought it was the cape, but it's the body. It might be a little bit too waist heavy and too chest heavy. I think the waist should be like a little bit thinner. Besides that, that looks amazing. It's the soft goods. It's the soft goods. 35 bucks? Heck yes. So it gets a 9 out of 10. It gets the loved it seal of approval, and this is a fantastic start if you wanted to do some customizing to this guy. And there will also be more available to buy, including a Rey right now available for purchase, as well as more like the Director Krennic from Rogue One, as well as some other Rogue One guys, and I think also a Princess Leia, which looks like the best Princess Leia released that's not Hot Toys. The Hasbro ones really crap the bed. So I'm actually sitting here at my desk editing the review, and I was looking at my Kylo Ren from the Disney store, the electronic one, and I was looking at him, I was like, his waist is actually just as thick as the Elite Series Kylo Ren. So I want to go and look at some photos of him, and I mean, his waist is pretty much like that. It's kind of wide. There's another photo, and it's fairly wide. So I think it's actually not so much the waist that's the problem. I actually think it's behind here. It's this little portion of the hood that makes it look a little bit weird. So I think you can just sew this or mess around with the hood a little bit. It does have its wire in there, but I think that's the only real problem. If you look at that hood, you look at this one, and I think this one's just a little bit off. I think it's just extra right here. If you can somehow pinch that together, it would look so much better. But I just wanted to add that in. It's not the waist, it's the hood. So it gets a 9 out of 10. It gets a recommendation from me. Thanks guys very much for watching. End of line. I'm Brando and I fight for the users. Thank you for choosing CRS. On right. Greetings, programs. Today's Brando review is of the 2012 Star Wars Phantom Menace Darth Maul Vintage Collection 3 3/4 inch figure from Hasbro. Let's do this. I just want to